Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica, and today I want to talk about how to improve your oral English by engaging in everyday life practice routine. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I want to suggest you to do is to listen to audiobooks, movies, and vlogs as much as you can. Yes, like every day. When you wake up in the morning and you feel like, oh, I want to do something, I want to, listen to something, I want to listen to music while I'm eating my breakfast, you got to listen to some English materials. Because by listening to English things in the first thing every morning, you will feel like you've been wake up. Your English nerves is being wake up. Otherwise, you will feel like you're being lazy, you don't want to do it, you will delay, you will feel like I can listen to some really short things I really like. I don't want to challenge myself by listening to so many English things, like English songs, English movie, English transcript-based novels. But I got to tell you, when you first wake up, it's like your nerves is not waking up. Your nerves still feel like I'm sleepy, I don't want to do anything, I just want to lay back and relax and pretend nothing happened before yesterday. But something did happen. You decided to learn English, and when you decided to learn English, you have to do it every day. You have to practice it every day. You have to engage with practice routine every day. So the first thing you do every morning, you turn on a podcast and listen to it. I know you probably don't understand why and probably don't understand how or why you want to listen to it and how you're going to listen to it, or you cannot understand the materials or the content itself. But it doesn't matter. Listening is a way of practice. Listening is the way of wake up your English nerves. Listening is something that you feel like you are so not willing to do, but it's actually crucial for you to do it. Once you set up your routine to listen to everything related to English every morning, you feel like your way of adapting English is much comfortable. Before, you feel like, well, I just want to live in a Chinese environment. I don't want to listen in English. I want to start in English. I want to speak English, but I don't want to actually put myself there to practice. Well, I have to tell you, you have to pretend that you're living in an English environment. You have to pretend that you're living in English country. That's the only way that you actually adapt yourself to this wonderful routine that you set for yourself to learn English. Otherwise, you'll feel like, I don't need to speak English. I don't need to talk to other people in English. I forever have the privilege to talk in Chinese. And that's not a very good thing. You have to pretend that you're living in an English-speaking country. You have to pretend that you are an actress or actor in the show who truly needs to speak in English. Otherwise, the audience won't understand you. Okay, the second thing, once you get used to practice listening every week, every day, or every morning, you'll feel like you had not enough of practice English. You had enough of listening. You feel like one moment that you had enough of listening, you want to move forward, you want to get to the next level. Well, here is one thing that you need to do. That is to actually start to speak in English. Yes, listening is just one way to make us feel so get used to learn English, to feel comfortable about learning English, about the fact that you have to put this learning English as priority in your life. But actually start speaking is terrifying. So speaking is definitely the thing you got to do. After you practice your listening, you already get to know how people speak English and what sort of things they speak and why they speak in such a way. You have that sort of feeling that how they speak specific word like excuse me and excuse me. And that is totally different. So you get the tone, you get the vibe. You already know how they talk about things. So at this point, you have to choose what sort of accent you want to copy. What's the things you want to say? There is so many things, so many categories that you need to choose for you to learn English, okay? Maybe some people might say, if I just copy one of my favorite movies, I would be so thrilled because I could copy the whole movie. That's not a very efficient thing to do. The most efficient thing to do is to pick up the most wonderful person that you could think of, who has the most wonderful accent, word pronunciation, or speaking speed that you can copy. That you so wounded by her. You feel like she's your model. She's your ultimate guru on how to speak English. You have to copy her. Me, I feel like these days I'm so into Megyn Kelly's voice. Every time I listen to her, I feel like I need to speak like her. She's strong, dominant, and she has so many points of views on so many things. And her voice is just so wonderful for me to listen. And on her show, she has loads of guests who have different opinions on the same thing. So you can actually listen to they talking to actually figure out what sort of point of view you want to adapt on the same issue, on specific things. So listen to Megyn Kelly make me realize, well, you can actually talk about things like she does. She just tried to speak in a way which is so elegant, so beautiful, so strong, and so well thought. Can I say well thought? I just think she's so wonderful. So I recommend you to listen to her. But maybe her content is so hard for you to listen. It's very difficult. It's very challenging because it's all focused on Americans' political stuff. So maybe you don't like it. So what sort of thing you really like? Maybe art, maybe movie, maybe songs, maybe music, maybe Taylor Swift. And you just have to pick that category and try to focus on that category. Try to figure out what sort of things that people like to talk about in that sort of business, in that sort of profession. Like if you're learning to practice law, you know there's so many things you need to learn. There are so many words you need to adapt. They're not normal words. They're not normal sentence. And there are loads of new concepts for you to adapt. And that's how you feel in terms of learning English. There's a new things, new concepts. It's normal, but it's not really normal. It's within the profession. It's within the business itself. And once you figure that out, you got a chance to speak perfect English. And the third thing I want to say, that when you get to the point you think that your English is so fluent, so beautiful, so elegant, you want to speak to other people. You want to practice with other people. Maybe you will feel like, well, yes, I have to try. But once you tried it, you feel like, oh my God, my English is crap. I don't know what to say things anymore because there's so many things I want to say, but people won't let me say it. They want to talk about their own things. They want to talk about the category they choose for them to talk about. They want to talk about books. I know nothing about books. Practice English is one thing, but to use English in real life is another thing. Because practice English, you can use materials that other people provide to you. You can use other things that people actually designed for you. You don't have to think. You don't have to figure out what can I do in terms of making this conversation much more vivid and much more engaging, and I want to involve people in. When you learn English, your brain is focused on what sort of things I can get. The things are already there. You don't have to figure out how you can get it, which way you want to get it. You don't have to figure out that. But when you do the output, when you want to talk to other people, the source is you. You have to come up with something new to talk about. So before you actually go out to talk to people, you need to read a lot of books. You need to know a lot of things. You need to get into the news world. For example, I am so fascinated about the idea how to live a slow life. I would definitely hands down and do my research. And once I finish my research, I know the whole thing. I know why people love slow living and how people love and how people actually live such a life and why we need to talk about it. I know those things. I know the idea, so I can actually say it to yourself and I can actually talk about it to my audience. And that's why I said when you practice English, when you learn English, probably you'll feel like you are already good enough to talk about things, but actually it's not. You have to really jump out of that learning circle and start knowing things based on English, the language itself. Okay, that's today's talk. Hope you like it. Hope you enjoyed it. And next time we're going to talk about slow living. Okay?